Hello and welcome back. This is Sherry with Heart and Soulful. We're in the studio today, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. So if you're joining me for the very first time, welcome. I hope that you enjoy this video. Please do give me a thumbs up if you do, and click on subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything. I have been working on a series. This would be video number 8, but it's not going to be part of the series. So that's why it's going to be a little bit different today. I don't know how you work, but I am one of those people that I like to do lots of different things. And I wouldn't say I ever get bored, but if I've been working on a project that it has even maybe like this one taken me off on other tangents, I sometimes need to just switch it up just for a day or two, just to kind of cleanse the palate, I guess you could say. So that's kind of what I'm going to share with you today. I am going to give you a little sneak peek just to prove that I have been working on this current series, but I'm not going to make this video part of that. But for those of you, I know I have a few people that get excited about, what's she done next? And really, I don't like to do these videos unless I have something really new to demonstrate or show. If I'm just working along in it, I don't know how interesting that is. So I will give you little peeks about what I've done, and then I want to show you what I have been doing in the last couple of days to kind of mix it up. So I've been working on this Vintage Grunge Journal that is inspired by a ghost town called Bodie. And just to show you that I have been, for those of you who have been following along, I've put this little guy in this was from video number 7, a serendipitous moment. So I've put that in. And then I'm working on the church section. I created what is kind of like the cover of a church bulletin. On Sundays you'd go and you get a bulletin for what songs are going to be in scriptures and all that. So this would just be the cover. And then this took me a little bit of time. I will share this when the time comes, but it's just a little church collection envelope. I didn't have vintage ephemera, so I designed and created my own kind of modeled it after a vintage one that I did find, and just made my own. So that'll be something later on that I will maybe demonstrate. So working on that one, did this little page with the organ, anything that I need to do stitching, things that are easier to do before I put the signatures into the cover, which I may be rebuilding a new cover because this one is not going to be big enough in the end. But I'm trying to do all that ahead. And it led me to making this a ruler collage. And what happens is, I get to working along and I'll get an idea, and maybe I don't have a paper that fits, that exists in the world, or I just don't have it. And so it's a challenge for me because I'm trying to learn Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator and my Cricut machine all at the same time. So it's good for me to think of projects that I need to use one of those things I'm learning to create. So that sends me off on a tangent that takes me a long time because I'm still learning. But I ended up creating, from old rulers that I had, I created this collage that I will make available when I do get a digital kit for this whole project. I did one this direction and then a whole complete different one going the other direction, both on 8.5 by 11. But I did it so that I could use, sections as cards, but also cut them apart just when I want a belly band or something like that. So I have 2 different directions of that. That kind of took me a bit also. So, this is kind of why I'm slow, is I try to end up creating things that take a long time. But that's part of the whole learning process for me. So that's where I am in this journal. I'm working on the school section now, the schoolhouse. Each signature represents kind of a different building in this ghost town. So that's where I'm at. I am still working ahead. I did a little video last week or a few days ago with the bottles, and so I'm still working on that too. So you'll find some videos that I'm going to post in between working on that actual series, and this is another one like that. I had no idea that this was going to turn into a thing. It was just me needing a day to play. without thinking about anything, no expectations for myself, and then it turned into a thing. So what I played with was just with my Gelli Plate. I don't have a lot of experience with it, and so I just started creating papers just for backgrounds, thinking I'll just collect them. I really like how this one turned out. You know, these I ended up not using in this project just because I kind of didn't want to fold them in half. But just, you know, playing around with different techniques, trying to get to where I feel comfortable enough that I can do a demo, you know, something that I feel like I can actually repeat something, because a lot of these are just, you know, accidents, happy and some not so happy. But so I've been collecting these papers, and the other thing that I do is when I get kind of moody or, you know, just kind of in a funk or just not wanting to work on whatever project I'm working on, I like to clean and get organized too, because, you know, I'm new to this, and I know Liz said to stop saying I'm new, but the fact is I am new. I've only been doing this for less than a year, and I don't want people to think that I'm an expert by any means on any of this. All I'm doing to start this channel was I started doing this this craft thing and wanted to share it with my Facebook friends. So that's kind of got me started, but I am new. I haven't been doing it a year. Maybe at some point when I feel comfortable, I'll stop saying that. But, you know, if this were a marriage, I'd be in the honeymoon phase still. So I'm going to keep saying that until I feel like I'm not, because I don't want anyone to think I'm an expert, because I'm not. But one thing I like to do is organize things. So I found all these little 8.5 they fit 8.5 by 11 paper, but they're kind of like, you know, the 12 by 12 size for scrapbook papers. So I got a bunch of these to try to organize myself, and I've also tried to let things not like get too out of hand. I was finding that when I was collecting recyclables or coffee stained paper or any of that kind of stuff, I was getting way more than I was going to use in a while, and then you just have to store it. So this size of thing makes me, once it's full, do something with them so that I just don't have everything overloading. So these will go in here, and then when this gets full, or when I need something like this from time to time, I will just come in here and get them. So I'm collecting kind of all these little papers that I use to, you know, mop up extra paint or whatever. But this one's getting full, so I'm going to probably have to do something again soon. What I ended up doing, though, is I spent a couple of days doing the Gelli Plate, and I was working on a 5x7, and I was working on, where did my paper pad go? Always putting things aside. Oops. And I was just working on this cheap from Walmart in the kids section, mixed media paper, and it just worked out where if I trimmed this off, they were nice to fit my 5x7. So that's what I used for paper. And then I had so many, and I was doing some of them double-sided. And so I decided I needed to just do them all double-sided, fold them in half, because I didn't know what I was doing with them. I just needed to throw some paint on paper. And so I ended up grabbing this. I had made a bunch of these extra book covers, like the one that I'm using for this series. And so I thought, well, I'm going to grab one of these. It just happened that when I folded those 5x7 sheets in half again, they fit in this little book. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to put them in here. That way, when I'm feeling moody or whatever, I can just look at this, and it'll make me happy to see all this color. I like that it still lays flat. I ended up not binding it permanently in there. I thought I want to be able to use this for days when I just feel like I want to do a little art piece. You know, I just need a break from whatever I'm thinking about or working on. And this way I'll have just a really small little canvas to play with. Maybe I have a quote that I want to save, stamps I want to try out, just different things. So I just folded them all and kind of put them into, I did 3 folios, which is, if you're new like me, when you fold a piece in half like this is one piece of paper, It's a folio, and so I did 3 of those per signature, and then there are 6 signatures. So I was just kind of flipping through here so you can see some of the different patterns that I did. Some of them I did, you know, tried to put words. This was all using the Gelli Plate. I'm not very good at stenciling, so I found that using the Gelli Plate with stencils, I like the result of that because it's kind of more forgiving in a way, since I'm not very good at, you know, stenciling on paper. But I've just, you know, made this whole little book, and that way I can pull the pages out if I want to do stitching on them, or something that, you know, it's easier to work on them if they come out. So I can pull them out and then put them back in. And then maybe if I ever get it completely filled up or to a point, I'll want to actually sew them in, and then they'll be kind of a permanent finished thing. I don't know if I'll ever get it finished, but I just liked the idea. Since I had this pile of papers that I was painting, I liked the idea that I was actually going to finish in a way doing something with them, even though it's just step 1, you know, they're just backgrounds. But I just thought this would be a good place for me to come when I want to just do something artistic, when maybe I've been working on the computer too long. So I didn't have, the only stretchy cord that I had, I thought if I had a bunch of rubber bands that were big enough but not too wide, that would have been an easy way to just do it, but I didn't have any of those. And the only cording that I had was all metallic, and I didn't really I want this to be kind of more grungy and colorful, but not metallic. So I had this stretchy elastic that I use for making bracelets, because, you know, I make jewelry too, if you've been following me at all. And I really like how it turned out because I just had some clear, and then that way, to me, it looks kind of like guitar strings. It's just simple. I wanted to keep, you know, the outside. It's just, you know, like I said, a place for me to go have fun when I need a moment, you know. So that's what I did. I don't know if you do something like that already, where you have something to mix it up. Let's see. I was going to show you. The next thing that I am going to also be working on is, somebody had asked, that is kind of just watching this series from the beginning. Before I made these book covers for this grunge project that I'm working on now, I practiced on just doing papers. So I had been using, if you've watched the series before, I was using up book page from my pile, which is slowly shrinking, but you know, I try to use up all the trash too. So I had made these that I've shown before, and I think I actually did a demo video of these. So I'll go find it and put a link in the bottom if I did. I'll also put a link to the series that the one that's going on currently, in case you want to see it from the beginning too. But I had started just making these master boards, I was calling them, using up my book page and collaging them. And then I used instant coffee and matcha tea and gesso to do the staining on them. So somebody had asked, I had mentioned when I did these that I would maybe offer them as a kit in my Etsy shop, and I hadn't done it yet. And they said they would be interested in that. So I want to do a few more. I only have, you know, about 8 or so that I like that I'd put in there. So I had printed a couple of them out so you can see. This was before I had adjusted the colors on them, or maybe I had done them sepia. But I'll have a kit available at some point. So I think what I'm going to do so that I can make some more. Another thing that I do is, you know, I use my ironing board as my area where I cut paper, and I keep this box under it so that I can just, any things that end up not working, you know, trash paper, that kind of thing, I use this just to toss everything in. And then again, it's getting too full, so I need to use this. I need to do something with all this so that I have space for more. So I'm going to be doing some more master boards using some of that trash, and doing some different techniques, maybe with some coffee and matcha tea. And that way I will have, I like to have like maybe, I don't know, 16 sheets or something, a dozen at least, when I do a little kit. So I'll do that and hopefully have something ready to go here maybe in a week or so. So anyway, that is what I have been working on in these days where I wanted to kind of mix it up. Let me know what you like to do, because I could always use more ideas. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go collage some things now. Go make something. Bye.